Now, how exactly an application can be deployed to an application server? That's a very good point, because ultimately we wanted to understand that how the overall application, the overall setup we can perform. So that's one thing we are trying to understand. We are trying to consider it up over here. Now, when it comes to the setup, so what really happens is that we are going to see like how the overall mechanisms can be done. So if we talk about the application, that how the application should be deployed. So first of all the verification steps should be fulfilled. Now, if you have a verification step of compilations, test case executions, validation, these are the basic steps which should be successful before even you go for the deployment. So the deployment, the application is ready only for the deployment when you have all these verifications done, passed down over here. Then only it will be able to proceed further. If the application is production ready, like it's something that you feel like the application is getting some traffic, so in that case you have to define a zero downtime deployment strategy, the pipeline, so that you don't get the downtime as such there. Or if you feel like still you can play with the downtime, you can notify your stakeholders that you're going for the deployment at so and so duration of time. So accordingly, you can go for a downtime and you can perform the deployment. So the deployment of the applications can be done manually, also can be done automatically. In some cases, automation is something which is not possible. So unfortunately, in that case, due to the limitation or due to the legacy world, you have to do the manual deploys. But again, whatever the deployment process you need to follow it into a very proper manner, so that you should not be facing any kind of issues in the actual live environment. So this is the mechanism. Like if you're really looking forward for a Jenkins integration, so Jenkins will be having the connectivity with the application servers. So test servers, staging, production, these all different environments will be having different application servers. And from your Jenkins, once it's the integration which is being established with one application server, then pretty much you can handle the integration with all the other application servers also over here in this one. So this is just a kind of integrations which we are talking about, where multiple environments will be deployed with the help of Jenkins in this one. When the deployment is performed, or if a particular deployment of an application is done, so in that cases, the developers and the QA professionals are again going to validate the application, because if they say that they have fixed on some things, some features, some bugs, so definitely they have to validate. So in order to validate that, they may be using a dev or test environments to understand that if after the deployment the fix has been applied. If those fix has been applied, then definitely they can get it replicated to the other environments also. So these verification, these small verifications are very important, because if we are not doing these verifications, then we may end up having a faulty or buggy source code into our production environment. So you have to be very careful about that. If you don't want to do the manual verification, then that's where you can integrate your test cases. You can have an extensive test cases which can go ahead and automate the stuff, can do the verification, and depending on their results, it can take a decision that whether they want to go ahead with the deployment or not. And this is what a true continuous integration, continuous deployment looks like, where the moment you're done with the commits, automatically all the steps, all the stages are going to be executed. They're going to validate your source code, compile your source code, run the test cases, and ultimately, depending on the test results, they are going to perform, or they're going to proceed with the deployment also. So that's the biggest benefit which is going to get with the continuous integration and continuous deployment. Now there are a lot of tools which is available for the automated deploys. DeployBot, Urban Code Deploy. There are a lot of tools which is available in that category to perform that setup.